everybody, welcome to the Wellness Garden Tool Shed. My name is Leah Reinhardt and I am going to be pulling 10 cards for this week's energy reading with Tarot. And before we get started, and as I'm shuffling these cards, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you are into this kind of thing. Anyway, how this works is we have the whole situation and there's 10 cards. So we have a situation, we have what the foundation or the root of the issue is, what's for the higher good, what have we learned from the past, what is our power in the situation, and what are likely outcomes. Now, mind you, this isn't necessarily a prediction per se because we all have free will. So we all have ways of using the energy as, as need be for each individual. So anyhow, let us begin and see what this holds. Also, if you are into this kind of thing and you want to have some kind of maybe motivation during this crazy time, or at least a different perspective, go ahead and check out my website. I have a sign up for our daily, or not our daily, our newsletter. Comes out maybe about 3 times a month or so. And it just kind of tells you what's going on with the website. That's wellnessgardentoolshed.com. And I also have a free download for the Shine Method. I am coming out with a paid course, but there is something free that does not require you to pay anything or any of that kind of stuff. So let us get to the reading. That's just a little bit of housekeeping. All right, so 9 of Wands. This is about protecting the fruits of our labor, defending what you know to be right. And even though it might feel like you're pushing forward and it's really hard and you feel a little insecure and tired, this is like the end of the marathon. You just have a few miles to go, okay? So it feels like we're just like, just kind of drained, can't push forward. And so this one's telling you, don't give up. Just don't give up. So, and the block energy, or the energy we need, is loving energy. We need loving energy. Right now, we are surrounded by hate. We are just, it's conquer and divide. We're being divided. So our block is we don't have this love thing going on. We need this love energy back into our daily lives and an equation, right? So what is the foundation? What is the root of all of the stuff that's going on that we need to feel we have to protect? Oligarchs, right? Oligarchs, big corporations, big money, things that don't have love in it, okay? It's all about money because we're missing the love energy, right? So we have normal people that just want to go about our lives and live the normal lives that we've always had it. Like, it's okay to make money. It really is, but it's where your intention is behind it, okay? And right now we know that the intention behind all of the shenanigans that's going on in the world right now is about corporate greed. So what have we learned in the past? We have learned that when we have celebratory energy, we got to go back to the love energy, happy energy. We are all energy. And when we realize that, and you can look at it, I just was I was at a funeral, and it brought up a lot of memories. We were having kind of a celebration of life and celebrating my friend's life, and before he had had his accident. And that celebratory energy is very positive. It really is what can help raise your vibration and coming together with common things. Not sitting there gossipy. Gossipy's not, this is about celebrating stuff. And we're not celebrating things that divide us, okay? That is what we have learned in the past. So we kind of know how to deal with this, right? We just have lost our way. So what is for the higher good? The higher good is to start something new. So we really want to have something new, and we are at this new beginning. We're at a new beginning of Pluto being in Aquarius. We're at the beginning of an election, and a new president election with a lot of things and an agenda and those kind of things. And so, is it a bumpy ride? Yeah, it probably is. Is it going to be easy in the beginning? No, but this is the struggle through adversity. But it's also the success through the struggle and adversity. Yes, it's a bumpy start. Is it going to be easy? No. And this is interesting because I literally was at this celebration over the weekend. And boy, let me tell you, some of these kids that I grew up with, and myself included, we had a bumpy start. Some had a much worse bumpy start than others, and they still managed to succeed. They did not let those bumpy starts define them in a negative way. They let those bumpy starts define them in a strong way of where they could use strength. So this is strength in adversity, which is, again, my energy is probably all over this. So what is around the corner that we can kind of see might be coming our way? Again, this is kind of what this energy kind of leads to if it stays in this direction. Again, that's where we have free choice. We can either live in this and learn, or we can decide to change and do something different. Page of Wands. This card comes up in every reading. Again, good news. I just did a short and it said good news was on the way for this person who's really kind and a gentle soul that's going to, you know, come from a loving space. Sorry, my couch just bumped the ring thing or whatever. Anyway, so there's good news that is coming. I've yet to really hear it, honestly, but maybe the good news really is that all the struggles that we go through and all the diversity is going to make us stronger. Some people aren't going to be able to handle it, but they have the strength to handle it. It's just, do they believe they have the strength to handle it? So let's see. Let's see what our power is. Let's see what our strength actually is. Oh, this one came up. Learn from your childhood. Learn from your friends. Learn from all the stories that you just went over. This is literally going back to your past card. This is the Six of Cups. That literally is like childhood friends, reunions, childhood issues, childhood memories, whether they're fond or good or bad, all of it, right? So what did we learn from our childhood? I mean, I didn't really learn anything new. I kind of remember things that happened, and, you know, certain things I think you kind of block out or you forget, and you're just like, oh, yeah, that was really terrible stuff. I mean, I had a good childhood and a bad childhood. I had both, okay? And I do believe that those things that I went through as a kid really prepared me for some hard stuff in this part of my life, or as I've gone on, because, you know, life is full of ups and downs, and you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what your journey is, and life's not fair. Life's going to be hard for some people. It's going to be easier for other people. It's just the way it is. And don't let that, you know, discourage you from doing the best that you can do, okay? So outside influences. So Temperance, again, patience, moderation. This is also the card of... This is the card of, what am I trying to say? Compromise. We need to compromise and come together, okay? Because compromising, there's always common ground, okay? I just met people who I absolutely don't agree with on a political level, and I don't even agree all together on their principles. Well, the principles I agree with, but not necessarily the way they get to how they believe what they believe. We don't see eye to eye on that, but we did find common ground where they're actually good people, and they knew I was a good person. So this compromise is what is going to help us, where we can find that common ground, because you're not going to agree with everybody. Everybody has their own beliefs, their own ways they brought up, and things like that. And, you know, people have opinions about COVID. They have opinions about the election. They have opinions about, you know, hair. I mean, over everything, you know. But there is a common ground, at least with certain people. With most people, there's always a common ground. And that is what's necessary, I think, for this good news to come, because we need to listen to each other and not fight with each other. Just because somebody doesn't agree with the same things I agree with, I don't think that shutting them out or not listening, or, you know, taking what people have to say and then seeing, you know, just being open. I think that's going to be where the compromise comes in, that will actually help our situation. And like I said, I probably was an outsider with most of these people, but at the same time, I still found that common ground. Okay, so let me see what the hopes and fears are. The fears are that we're going to continue to fight and still have this negative thing happening. That is what the fear is. I hope that goes away. I think it did. Okay. So the hopes and fears are that there's still, the gossip is still there. And I think that's part of, maybe this is my fear, because good people believe things. And I don't know if I necessarily know the truth on what it is, but I also think a lot of that gossipy stuff is promoting more fear. There's fear on both sides when we're looking at conspiracy theorists and theories and things like that. Like, it's all surrounded in fear and negativity, and it's time to walk away from that, because honestly, there's going to be more of that coming. I mean, that we want to walk away from that. We don't want that to be part of our lives, but it's time to pick up and go. You know what I mean? Let's leave all those things behind, because it doesn't offer anything good. And yes, we're going to see more of this. Sorry, folks. There's going to be a lot more of some crazy news, okay? So what is kind of like the outcome if we keep heading in this direction, right? Okay, and that is, again, the Chariot. This is the success out of opposing forces, out of opposing views, and recognition, and all of that. So, like, you know, this card reading is really interesting, because I know, of course, I'm reading the cards, so yes, my energy is going to be on it. And yes, I have an ability to be adaptable. And right now you're going to be called to be kind of being able to be adaptable, because let's face it, who survives? The strong survives. Who survives? The one that can adapt to the conditions around them. That's just in the animal kingdom. So we know, most of us do know right from wrong, okay? So we are standing up for our beliefs. I believe right now we're kind of at this energy where some of us, our rights are going to be challenged. That's, anybody that goes against your natural human rights is not going to be good. It's not going to be good for anybody, okay? It's not going to be good for anybody. So this is where the defense and kind of this competition goes in hand in fist. And so this is what the situation is, okay? So this means, you know, we're up for the challenge. We've got some warrior type people that can handle this kind of stuff, and go for it. And I want other people to know they have power too. Everybody has power, okay? So stand up for what you believe to know is right, and protect the fruits of your labor. So what is the block or the energy we need? It is love. It is coming to love each other, because when you love yourself too, and fall in love with yourself, then you are creating a way to give love. Because if you don't have love in your heart, how do you give that to somebody else? If you don't have it, you can't give it. So this is what's needed, okay? Love energy is the all-encompassing, strongest energy out there. And again, I was with a lot of the church people that I grew up with. They'll say Jesus, say God, say the universe, say whatever, but we don't have love in our heart right now, and that's what we need. That's the energy that is being called to our attention to use. What is the root of all of this? Trying that we have the need to protect our rights or our fruits of our labor is corporations. Okay, we already see this with the corporate oligarch power that's coming in that really wants to change our world into a dictatorship, but people don't see that. But if you're giving your power away to the money, we want to give our power to love, not things and money. Yes, you need money to live, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that only like money, because that's the root of this, is greed. Greed with money and power. King of money. So we've learned from the past that when we were happy, we want to go back to that happy time, and nobody's happy right now because everybody's fighting with each other. But this happy energy, the celebratory energy, is what is needed to come back to that love energy, okay? Root of it, or the For the higher good is we have to learn how to overcome obstacles. Okay, this is one of these things that we're going through a growth spurt. You know what do they call it? The fourth or fifth turning. Because what is it? It's like happy times create weak people create bad times create sad people, or something like that, or strong people, and it goes around and around. We're right now at this place where we got a little too easy on certain things. Okay, not everybody's had it easy, but now it is time for us to sorry, my cats are at the door, to understand that there is success out of adversity. Okay, this is a bumpy start. It is not a time to give up. Okay, that is for the higher good. It is to create something actually better, which is kind of cool. Now, I don't know why we get this good news card, because it comes up like all the time. I was talking to one of my clients and she's like, oh my God, it comes up all the time. She's going to look at this and be like, oh my gosh, again. So yeah, I eventually there will be good news. We haven't seen it yet, you know, although maybe some people think this is good to, you know, give total power to just a certain people. I don't know. Maybe they think that's good. I personally don't think that's good, but maybe it is good news to people. I don't really know. I don't like anybody taking power or control over me personally. So, you know, I think they should all be spread out, but whatever. This is what it is. So maybe we haven't had the good news yet. I don't know. But I know that our power right now is to look at our past and see what worked, take what we liked from it, and move forward. Yes, there are some bad things, very, very bad things that have happened in many people's lives. And I am so not trying to minimize any of those things, unspeakable things, right? So, but what we've learned, I learned watching one of my friends, I just look back and yes, I knew everything that was going on, even at the time it was going on, but it's like you just look back as an adult and think, oh my gosh, how does any kid have that much to deal with at such a young age? But he is strong. And to me, he's a great testimony of strength out of adversity, you know? So he didn't do the poor me. He didn't go into drugs. I mean, sure, I'm sure he's got some issues somewhere, but for the most part, he is living life. He's paying his bills. He's got happy relationships. What more can you ask for, right? Again, compromise, okay? We need to come together. We need to come find common ground. And again, I'm saying I am so not a religious person. In fact, I cringe at a lot of the way religious people talk. I know they have good meanings in their heart. I know it's my own issue. It's not theirs. It's mine. It's because of how I grew up. And so it makes me kind of cringe, but I can compromise in the sense where I know maybe some of the stuff they're saying I don't believe or go along with, but I know in their hearts are good people. And so I'm going to listen to them. Anyway, I don't have to agree with everything, but I can find that common ground that brings the human side to it. Okay. So like, yeah, again, they got their conspiracies going on, and I will draw the line at the flat earther stuff. And if I don't know all the details in COVID, honestly, I'm not even trying to figure out all the details. That part is the least of my worries at this point. But anyways, I'm just saying the common ground is where we can actually do things better. And when you open that door for that compromise and common ground, other people might listen to you too. And then we can kind of see, let's start comparing notes and see what's actually true, because the gossip stuff, it's just like gossip, right? So gossip is you're hearing something that someone says and they're all of a sudden just believing it because you said it. Now, maybe it's not true. Maybe this person has an agenda and they told you something that was a lie because they wanted to get something out of you. There's a lot of that. So instead of trying to figure it out and getting sucked up in the drama, walk away. Walk away. If it doesn't bring any kind of good feeling in your heart, walk away. It is time to leave that behind, because all it does is perpetuate more negativity and drama and fighting and ugh. So let's walk away, because when we do, we will see our big success. This adversity card right here in the beginning of something and struggle and strength out of adversity is really this card, which is the theme. This is the theme of the chariot working together. You have to have all parts of the chariot working, otherwise it doesn't work. The chariot's not going to work if it doesn't have wheels. It's not going to work if it doesn't have horses. It doesn't work if we don't have a driver. And so this card right here literally has the black and white sphinxes on there. And it is because it is the balance and compromise that gets us ahead and the winning together. Okay, so this is, obviously I have this in like more of the beliefs in our divided America, but at the same time, can also completely pertain to your inner self as well. It could be like, you're having a competition and you have a team that you need to work together with, but there's maybe opposing forces and you have to find the common ground to make your company, your team, whatever it is, work. Because we need each other, people. We need each other. That's all there is to it. And we need our families, our friends to have that party scene. And, money, I know it says it's the root of all evil. I don't really believe that, but I do think greed is. It's not necessarily money. But when you look at this card, the King of Money, and like all the oligarchs that are really having a lot of power, like this is really what's caused all this stuff. I mean, Twitter can't be anything but a cesspool of negativity, right? Who owns that? Just saying. Who owns Facebook? Oligarchs, a lot of money, TikTok. Like, all of the places are fun and can be used for good things. Don't get me wrong. They can be. But it's the intention and greed behind it. Just like money's not bad. It's the intention behind it. And what are the intentions that would make it better? Love. So you can manifest just about anything out of love as long as you believe it. We are much more powerful than we even think we are. And that is when you connect with your spiritual side. Now, again, I heard a lot where you have to, accept something into your world and then you can do that. Again, that's accepting something outside of you. It's already in you. You just have to awaken it. That energy is already, you were born with it. You were not born flawed. And that's the biggest hoax out there. The real world is flawed. But we look at flawed as a negative thing. We don't want to be plastic. We don't want to be fake. We want to be authentic. And authenticity comes with flaws that makes us unique. But we're told they're flaws when they're really not. They're just differences. It's like a weed. What's the definition of a weed? A weed is a plant that you don't want in your yard. Dandelions can look like a weed, but at the same time, they can be very useful in medicinal teas. So, I invite you to look at things a little bit differently. Try to see the other side. Try to come with common ground, and you watch what will happen when we do that. So that's what we have for this week. Again, if you are into this kind of stuff and just want like new perspectives, I have the newsletter that you can sign up for on my website, wellnessgardentoolshed.com. We have manifesting bundles. And what I mean by that is just because you wear jewelry, that's not going to just bring you something, okay? Sometimes it does. But, like for example, this is amethyst. Amethyst helps calm your mind, calms the nightmares and stuff like that. Or you have for prosperity. But what it does, it also is a reminder of what energy you're trying to achieve. And when you focus on your goals, you get more of it. It activates your reticular activation system so that you can bring more of that into your world. That is why gratitude is so good. So be thankful for the things you have, because the universe wants to provide more things to you to be grateful for since you're expressing that. It may sound simple, it may sound woo-woo, but I just would ask you to try it and see if it worked out for you, because it has worked so many times for me. And believe it or not, I would have thought this last weekend would have caused a lot of anxiety from having very different opinions on things. But I got to tell you, I'm actually a lot calmer now. So, and that's really weird because, I can be a little, if you've seen any of my videos, you probably know I can be a little cuckoo too. So again, common ground. Let's come together, have the love energy. This is one of those cycles we're going through, and we all go through it at some point in time in our lives. We are full of waves, and it's not always smooth, all right? That's what I have for you this week of Monday, February 10th. I hope this carries you through the week, that you can turn off the gossip and know that that's just not useful. And let's try to find love, okay? All right. Have a great day.